Okay, so before we go, we got one more thing. We have one more thing we got to show her. We got to go ahead and just blow up some stuff.
Blow up what? What we blowing up? Like a grenade?
Yeah, blow up stuff. I mean, that's fun. Like we're in the outdoors.
What kind of grenade is we doing now? What are we doing? What are y'all doing? Is this for real? Be careful with that, man.
Welcome to Shoot the Shh, where empowerment takes aim. We look forward to sharing with you another story of resilience and empowerment, so stay tuned. Today, I am honored to introduce you to a dedicated, accomplished, and resilient woman here in our presence. She has held the prestigious title of 2023 Miss Capitol Hill, 2024 Miss Puerto Rico, and we are also reaching for the stars by going to Miss USA next. So, you guys must stay tuned to experience this full journey of this accomplished, educated woman, author, and great mom. Introducing Miss Trina Q.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
That's awesome. I'm really, really happy that you are. So we definitely had lots of fun out on the range. You showed a lot of that resilience that you have there to keep pushing through. Although it was a little bit uncomfortable at first, how did you get through those shots? Although you were a little bit nervous about it.
I don't know. It's a blur at this point. But honestly, I just had to like breathe or something. Tell myself, listen, we're gonna. I think you had said earlier, or Monique had said it's gonna take 3 seconds. It'll be 3 seconds and 4 seconds, you're done. So when you grasp that and understand it, just get it done. Type mindset. I was like, all right, let me just get it done.
That's a great attitude to have towards it, though, because, like, you know, it definitely is only just a very small moment of time, and by the time you think about it, it's already done. So yeah, and just keeping a mindset that what it is, what's your point, why are you there shooting? That also is going to help you set yourself up for success the next time you go to the range. Just remembering what is the point of this all. Like when you're at work, you got to qualify.
Right.
So what's your experience with that? How do you feel about the qualification process?
Well, I will say, when you first approached me about this, I was like, oh gosh, she must know I don't like no guns. Because you know my story. And just to give those who don't know my story, I'm in the Air Force. I've been in the Air Force for 7 years. And my very first experience with a gun was at basic training. So when I did that and I had that experience of shooting for the first time, I'm just like, it was tough for me. It really was. And I was the last person to fire my gun, the last person to finish. And honestly, it sucks. Because me as a person, I like to be the best at everything. But when it comes to firearms, I'm not comfortable with them. So when you came to me about this, I'm like, you know what? I don't want to do this. But it was no pressure. You know, it was either you can do it, you can not do it. But me personally, because I want to grow and I want to get that comfortability, and because I do test, it's important for me to just feel comfortable and learn. And I appreciate that.
Well, thank you. I'm so glad.
And I'm just going to talk through it, but don't press. I will press.
Okay.
Keep your sights aligned. Okay. I'm taking the slack out and then press. Right. Finger straight.
Okay.
Slow ready. Let me see.
Okay.
All right. That was your first shot. How do you feel?
I don't like guns. We could do an interview now. You want me to do all these?
You don't have to. You
This
don't
is
have
like
to.
DMT all over again.
You don't have to. I just wanted to shoot it with you because I knew you that you had a fear of guns, so I didn't want you to shoot it by yourself.
Dang, and I missed too. What was I looking at?
Okay. So I do have to ask you, what is it that bothers you about this part?
The noise. It's too loud. It's a gun, you know? It's a gun.
What do you think is going to happen?
I don't know. It's just loud and it's a gun. It's a gun.
Have you had
and
previous...
it's loaded, ladies.
It is loaded. It's loaded. But the good thing about guns is it can't go off unless you press the trigger.
This is facts. All right.
Right?
But the goal, like I was telling you, I want to be comfortable with it, right? I don't want to have to be like, because if y'all want to hear some crazy stories, I know I'm like you, I can talk a lot. But my basic experience, when I went to go shoot this, that was my first time handling a gun, and this was my first experiences with a gun. Yes. I was on that floor, like, curled. Oh, no. And then people were like, like everybody popping off, and then my magazine's still full. Yes. They waiting on me. My people were mad at me, the girls in my group. Just shoot the gun, Q, shoot the gun. I'm like, oh my God. I was so scared, y'all, but yeah.
Well, that's the difference in that environment and this environment. This is one-on-one. We can go as slow or as fast as you would like to go. Right. That's number one. And number two, we're not going to do anything that makes you uncomfortable. Right. So if you're uncomfortable, we're just going to stop.
Right.
No, I'm not. I want it. So the goal is, because I agree, right? So it's like, I know my limitations. Oh, I keep hitting the mic. I know my limitations, but I want to be able to be comfortable because I know how to shoot this. And I have to. So for me, it's like, oh, I got to do this. Right. So I do it. But when it comes to just in this type of environment, I don't have to do it.
Right.
So it's just like, all right, y'all. But I don't want to be like that. I want to be able to be comfortable to actually do it. And my next round, like when I have to go and test for this, I want to be able to be like 50-50. What's the score again? Is there like a score?
Oh, so our score is I think it's out 300 now.
Oh God, that sounds so high. But no, we have scores.
No, 400. I'm sorry, I was out of 400.
Oh my gosh, that's really high
for the pistol.
Wow. So if I practice now, when I go and I shoot this, I'm going to be like the best one there, and I like to be the best.
Yeah, that'll work for you. So what I would like to say is just keep practicing. I mean, honestly, that's the best way of getting over it and dealing with it, because it's one of those things of if you keep being in that environment, it's not going to become. It's not going to be anything for you anymore. Right. Yeah. It's the same thought process with kids growing up around firearms. They're used to it.
And it's just normal.
It's normal for them. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that will become normal for you if you keep putting yourself in that environment.
That's why I don't want to run. Because I could run right now. But the thing is, you know how like the shootings happen, like with the men and stuff? I think because I don't handle these on a regular basis, having that and then hearing that, it's like triggering. It's like trauma. It's like,
you have to think about what's the purpose. Today, the purpose is not to harm anyone.
Right.
The purpose is shooting sports.
Right.
This is a sport today.
Right.
So it's all fun.
All recreational fun.
Recreation. Yeah. So, but we're going to maintain safety because it is dangerous, but we're doing this as a sport. Right. So if you change your mindset to it being a sport, it might make it more manageable for you.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
I like
and again, more comfortable at your comfort, right?
Okay.
We don't have to shoot all this because it's just the recoil is just going to get higher, right? So is it the sound or the recoil?
I think it's a combination of both. And it's the gun.
It's a gun. Yep.
But yeah,
I'm really proud of you.
Thank you.
It was a big difference from when you first started shooting all the way up until you shot that AR. Like, I mean, just the confidence is what I'm speaking of. The ability that you took full control of the firearm. It didn't seem like you were fearful of it anymore. You were just like, okay, I got to hit this target and I got to be accurate with this thing. Like you were ready to go.
Yeah.
So I really watched that transition and I love that transition about it all. So now I believe when you're going to do qualifications, if you do a little bit more practice before then, I know you're going to be like, okay, let's do this.
Easy. I'm going to be hitting them targets. I'm going to like, look, what Monique say? I'm going to get my warrior stance, y'all. I'm going to be in there. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Definitely. So I know one of the things that you talked about is that you're really competitive and how that made you feel being at the range doing qualifications. You were considered to be last then, but you came first so many times. Being doing your pageants and becoming first place and getting all of your crowns. So can you talk to me about some of those challenges and what things that you had to go through in these pageants that definitely pushed you to continue? Because I'm sure there was some hurdles.
Most definitely. Well, first and foremost, the number one thing that comes to mind is public speaking. I am a graduate of Bowie State University. I did that undergraduate. Graduate, I went to Howard. So, okay, go Bison too. But, but one thing I will say to your question is that for me, when I was going to college, I had to do a lot of speaking. In pageantry, people don't realize it. It's more than just a pretty dress or being a certain shape or looking a certain way. They don't care about any of that. Like, you need to be articulate. You need to have a passion. You need to know what your service is, and it needs to be of substance. You can't just pull stuff out of your butt and think like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Because they can pick up on that so easily. Pageantry forces you to be your authentic self. It puts you in an environment where you have to speak and articulate and show those why something is your passion. So that was the biggest hurdle for me, because for number one, I do not like public speaking. I do not. And I don't know. Yes. And I don't know if anyone from my one-on-one English class at Bowie State University is going to watch this. But if they do, they're going to be like, we have a story for y'all. And they might go in the comments. And if y'all go in the comments, don't embarrass me too bad. But I remember, and I'll never forget, the first time I had to go up to the front of the class, I was like so terrified of these people, my fellow classmates who are students just like me. But it's like when you're starting something new, you overthink everything. Like, oh my God, but what about them? What about them?
Right.
You know, like, but you don't think like that in a moment. And pageantry forces me to just be able to go up and do the public speaking, go to the experiences, because you have to look for sponsors. We don't have to, but like going to sponsors and being able to just speak and receive and rejecting, because not everyone is going to be a sponsor for you. Not everyone is going to have the same passions as you. So if that's not, you're going to hear those no's. And I think it's good to be able to incorporate rejection, learn the way you speak, and just better develop yourself. Self-development is really important to me.
So first thing is treat all weapons as if they're loaded. All firearms as if they're loaded. Why do you think we do that?
Because anything can happen. You get too comfortable.
And that part. People handle them unloaded, and then they had them unloaded, and they get comfortable with it being unloaded. And they treat it like it's a toy, right? Oh, it's unloaded, it's not gonna go off.
These not toys for sure.
It's not toys.
We're not playing with toys today. They look like this toys.
Yeah, I mean, definitely is one of those things that I feel like you have exemplified through everything that I've learned about you. Like just self-development every day. I feel like you're pushing yourself to do the next thing and get it done well as well at that. So, I mean, as far as the pageantry, you've expressed to me, even just now, explaining to me that it's a little bit more than just the beauty. As a matter of fact, that's the last part that they're concerned about. That was just like, wow for me, because I had no idea. I don't know anything about pageants. And so it's one of those things where you're making me think a little bit more about incorporating speaking to women that are in pageants, because you guys do so much community work. So I know one of the things that you were focused on during your term for some of your pageantry was mental health. I'm not sure if you're still on that path. Is that the same path you're on for that, your community work?
Yeah, well, mental health was always going to be near and dear to my heart. It really started when I started in the military and hearing about different suicides. But another passion of mine is just healing from trauma. And I believe that those two kind of coincide with each other. For this title, particularly as Miss Puerto Rico, my platform is more so the healing of trauma portion. But it's still under the umbrella of just like mindfulness, mental health, and being aware as a whole. But yes, to your point, it's not mental awareness or mental health, I should say, but more so just healing from traumas, because in life we meet so many people, and every person has their story because they have and going through currently their journey. And one story is not going to elect the other. You'll be shocked to know that, oh, this person may have gotten molested, or this person suffered through domestic violence, or there's like really tough, hard situations that people go through never talk about,
Right.
never heal from, or it may not be as drastic as those two examples. It may be something as a girl who never had a relationship with her mom. She may have been in the foster care, but trauma is real. Healing needs to be done. And I'm really passionate for myself is because like through every journey, there's been something. And I've had to grow that resiliency through my own personal traumas.
Yeah. So was there something particular? Was a particular moment that made you feel that you wanted to help others and overcome their trauma?
Well, I would say, just like even growing as an adult, like I didn't really, I'm like, oh, I'm fine. There's nothing, because we don't really want to like face our own fears or face ourselves and our troubles.
Definitely.
It's like, girl, I'm good. What you talking about?
Right.
But it's not like that, and it's okay, because like sometimes you may get feedback, and you want to make sure you're getting feedback from people who really have the best interests of heart. Like you have those who, and you can really decipher who those individuals are in your life. Like, okay, I know Keisha, that's my girl. She's not going to just say something just to make me feel bad about who I am as a person. And you got to really have to define a moment. But for sure, just learning. Ooh, y'all was a loss. But yeah, so I know, Lost, this not your shine. This not your time to shine yet. But so just through trauma. And I just think that like learning your different traumas can help you so much, even when building relationships. If it's looking for love, if it's even working, if you're like a single mom like myself, like I'm a single mother, and I have to address certain traumas that I've been through to be a better mother for my daughter. If that is not focused and done, I mean, I see it with my own mom. She has things that she's yet to even share with me. But her close friends who's like, oh, you won't believe what your mom's been through. I still don't know today my mom's story. She's alive and well, but it's like when you don't address those certain things, it affects how you parent. And definitely. I want to be there for my daughter. So yeah.
You are definitely right about that. And that definitely goes to show how great of a mom you are, that you're even, putting yourself right there in the hot seat to yourself to confront these traumas and deal with them, and then ultimately educate your daughter about these things so that she doesn't repeat the cycle of having those same experiences that obviously were not good experiences. So when it comes to those type of traumas, any kind, what type of advice would you give a young lady that has recognized that, okay, this particular situation I went through was really terrible, and how do I deal with this?
It really just depends on the person, but your foundation has to be knowing your mindset, like, and then having that God centered. And those who aren't religious, because I get not everyone's religious, some people are spiritual, but you have to have a grounding. And when I used to watch like a lot of motivational speakers, I'm like, oh, know your why. I'm like, well, what if you don't know your why? Why everything I say you know your why? But it's just like, it really just comes back to the purpose that you feel like you really truly do need to understand what it is that you want out of life, and then press forward, because this moment is going to pass. The next moment's going to come, and then that shall pass. Then you get to the next moment, and that's going to pass. And you have these time gaps, and you have these like this lapse of this timeline. And if you just sit there in fear, you sit there in doubt, you sit there just hesitating, and you don't move on to the next thing, nothing will change. So my thing and my biggest advice is to people, do something, even if it's a little something. Operate in fear, operate in doubt, but just go. Because if you sit there and wallow in, I was the victim and they hurt me, that doesn't discount what's happened or what happened to you. You aren't what happened to you. And that's another thing that I really, really want to stress to people. Something happened to you doesn't qualify that moment making you who that moment was. So I don't know if that makes sense.
Okay, but being stuck in that moment, people sometimes like to like wear that on the front side of them, like before you even meet them. I'm this victim, So I understand what you're saying.
It's a little bit, all right. So what you want to do, you're creating a stable base to the left and right and back and front. Because if you stand like this and you're trying to absorb the recoil from the gun, you're going to start going backwards. Okay, so this is why we have the support foot back here. All right, so that is your warrior stance, right? That's the stance you're gonna take.
We're not fighting today, y'all. We shooting guns, but just so you know.
Okay, so you have your stance now.
Yeah, and I definitely have empathy. I mean, because like a lot of times, you know, there are things that happen, and it's like I have compassion for those who have like experienced some horrific things in life. I definitely I get it. But you never want to get to the point where you use that and allow it to stagnate you from what you're capable of. Because everyone is born to do something great. And I don't say that to be cliche or just like to be out of somebody's mojo, bojo, whatever book. It's really like we're all here and assigned to do something great and to touch and be connected to someone else.
There you go. All right. Full firing grip, all four underneath. Support hands sitting on the frame. And you got to get a tight grip on this. Okay.
That's very true. I mean, definitely humankind definitely wants to help, I feel like, in general. And, you know, there are people out there who believe that majority of people are bad. I like to believe that majority of people are good. And majority of people that I meet on a day-to-day basis are good, in my opinion. And they want to help others. They want to climb the corporate ladder. They want to better themselves. They also in turn want to help their family members, like all their loved ones. So in general, we always like to be in service to another person, regardless if it's a stranger or if it's a loved one. You touched on a couple of topics that was a little bit emotional for me as well. You know,
we can hug it out, we can cry it out. We're here on the table. Well, not the table, y'all, but we're here on the couch. We can cry it out, sing it out, whatever we need to do.
My grandmother told me something about myself. When I was younger, I was still in grade school, and I knew I wanted to be a nurse. And so she said to me, I don't know how you're going to be a nurse when you're not compassionate enough for others. And I was like, what do you mean, Grandma? Like, I'm always helping you. I'm always like, if you're hurt or something, like I'm helping you. Like, she had a lot of health ailments. And so she's like, no, but it's just like more of the demeanor to it, and whatever is going on, like on the inside, it comes out on the outside as if like, push that to the side, get over that, move on, and you're okay. Like, but that's not always the case. Sometimes people need you to be a little bit more compassionate, especially if you are going to be providing care. And I'm like, it took me at least 5 years after I graduated from high school for me to understand what she meant by that. And me becoming a mom helped me understand that. Like, my oldest, she helped me to understand if she fall and bump, you know, her knee or whatever, you know, she's gonna cry it out. Okay, get up and go. That's my attitude towards it. But for her attitude towards it is, Mommy, I need a hug. And I'm just like, girl, get up. You're fine. Shake it off. You're fine. So I had to find a good balance. And so I think that really set me on the path of having a little bit more compassion. Becoming a mom really helped that, because she was definitely a little bit more gentle than I was. And I'm pretty sure, you know, she just herself and I'm me, you know. But the environment I grew up in was a little bit tough, and if I was soft, that was it. I was literally dead. So it was no playing around with that. And so me raising her in a different environment where she didn't have to have those type of defenses and things, allow her to really show her emotion and show it to the world. And I wasn't equipped, honestly, with that. So I literally had to learn that. My college courses and things like that, as I was learning about mental health and awareness, I was like, oh. And finally, it clicked with my grandma.
Like, ding, 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 ding. Yeah. I mean, sometimes we get those light bulbs. Ding, 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 ding.
Yes.
Nothing moved.
So why do that?
Once your dominant eye is closed, it moves everything out of your line of sight.
That's crazy. Hold on. I think that y'all. Hold on. All right. Hold on.
Both eyes open.
Both eyes open.
Nose in the center. Close your right eye. The whole target's gone.
What? Why? How does that happen? All right. Okay. That just has me. So what's my dominant eye?
Your right eye.
But everything disappeared when you
closed your right eye, your dominant eye.
So why do I want to close it?
You want to close your left eye. You want to keep you close your right eye to see where, if the target was still going to be there when you close your dominant eye.
Oh.
So if you close your non-dominant eye, your dominant eye is still open, so the target's not going to move. But if you close your non-dominant eye, or if you close your dominant eye, the target's going to move because now your dominant eye is gone, right? It's going to move out of your line of vision.
I think that's really important for people to know. Can you do that with anything? Like, okay.
Yeah, any one of those targets you do it, it's going to disappear if you close your dominant eye.
That's crazy. Okay, cool.
All right.
Needless to say, I failed psychology twice.
Oh, it's okay.
I failed psychology twice. And when I say I was so heartbroken, I did not even understand what it had done to me until probably 3 to 5 years later, because I decided, okay, I'm going to take a sabbatical from school. I'm not going to go back right now because I'm failing classes. I'm a mom and I'm engaged and life is just going to be too much. Life is life, right?
Right.
So I got to this point where I'm just working. We have a second baby. Now I'm working. And my mom sits me down one day and she says, "You do know that you're depressed, right?" And I'm like, "Huh?" And she's like, "Yeah, you're like a working depressed person." And I was like, "What do you mean, Mom?" And she's like, "I need you to really think about this. Before, you would always make sure your hair was nice. You'd always make sure your clothes were well kept and things like that." And she noticed I would leave out the house with my clothes wrinkled, like didn't care. I would leave out with just like a ponytail or just brushing my hair back, whatever, didn't care. And I would just keep going on about my day. And I had to really sit back and think about that. And what you were saying about a purpose, I had lost the sense of purpose because I stopped going for the thing that I was going for, which was to become a nurse. So now I'm like trying to figure it out all over again. What direction am I going in life? And I just found myself living, but not really living, just doing responsibilities, basically, taking care of responsibilities. So that's why I said you spoke to me and you really made me think about reflection. So, but yeah, your journey about being a mom, what would you say was probably some of the hardest obstacles about being a single mom?
Accepting I was going to be a single mom. Because, like, no one wants that. At least I don't think any female mom wants to do it alone.
Right.
So for me, it was coming to terms that, like, I won't even be able to co-parent. Like, it really is just me.
Right.
And I don't have extended family. Like, I don't have the structure of, like, the typical family. Like, where I can just even have, like, her father's parents involved because they're not here. And then I never knew my dad, and me and my mom never had a good relationship. And then my family is just so dispersed. I do have a sister and brother. I love them dearly. They're both in 2 different states, far from the DMV. So it really is me growing and having those friendships that I've been locked in with. And I'm so grateful for them because a lot of my friends are my family. And my daughter, she calls a couple, I don't want to say a lot because this is, I keep a very small circle, but she has her aunties and her godmother and people who I've been locked in with who are my family. So that was the hardest thing when I realized I'm going to have to be a single mom and not knowing how or where I will be getting help from. It's like along the way, God shows up and he just places these people, places these moments and situations so that you're able to like withstand. And I didn't know that I was going to be able to get through it, but I did. And that was just, for me, one of the biggest things because I was that little girl thinking like, I'm going to have my winter wedding. I'm going to have my husband, like I had it all planned out. Yeah. That was my dream, know, and it didn't happen that way. And it's okay. So like the process is still going. My journey is still being written.
And that's what's so awesome about everyone's journey, how you take these unexpected turns. And I never would have thought for a million years that I would be a firearm instructor and love it at that.
Yeah, you're like, a beast. You real good.
Oh, y'all
good. I was ready to run.
Thank you. But I honestly do. I mean, I love it. And I mean, when I was younger, the thought process of a firearm wasn't even there. It was just like, because it was just like anybody who has a gun, either you're a police officer, military, something, or you're a thug. And so I'm neither. I'm okay with that. I don't have any interest in firearms. And so here comes my husband with this like love, almost obsession with firearms. And he kind of said, okay, well, let's try this. Let's do this. And it took him probably 5 years to convince me to become a licensed instructor. At first, the company was just ran with him and other instructors that we would hire, contractors to help us with our services. And he was like, no, women need women instructors. And I'm like, no, they don't.
Yes,
no,
we do. Yes, we do.
I mean, obviously so. I mean, I've been getting so much good rapport from women that are saying the same thing. Like, yes, I need a woman instructor.
Yeah.
You know, guys are great. No offense to any guys out there. I'm sure you guys are still doing a great job.
Yeah.
It's just that women have a certain approach to firearms, and only other women can generally fully understand that. So that's definitely where I am on that. But as far as you being a mom, I really feel like your journey as being a single mom definitely encourage you to do so much more than moms who have help with spouses or the dad involved, or, you know, to be able to help raise those kids. So one of the things I felt really awesome and interesting is that you and your daughter wrote a book.
We did.
What was that like?
That is one of her like most greatest accomplishments, and it's crazy how it even came to fruition, to be honest with you. We took a trip to Germany because when I started the Air Force, I met a friend, and she's also a mom, a single mom. She's from New York. And she was like, if I go overseas, I've been praying, Q. I've been praying, if I get this overseas, you better come visit me. And the very next day I see her and she was like, I'm going to Germany. I was like, go ahead, girl, that's good. You still gonna come visit me? I was like, yeah, girl, that means I'm coming to Germany too.
Nice.
So I went on that trip, and then this was the first time my daughter has ever been out the States and all that good stuff. And I had seen a children's book, like after we had came back from the trip and everything. I was like, oh, that would be cute. So in my head, I'm thinking like, oh, that's cute. A little book, that's cute, right? But I'm like, no, I think that would be a good idea. So I'm like thinking, I was like, Jade, what do you think if you wrote a book about your trip to Germany? Would you like that? She was like, a book? And I can write it? So immediately when I seen her excitement and knowing that she would be into it, that was like my green light to now I have to. Like, I can't just drop this seed and not watch it grow. If I bring it to her, she's gonna expect, and I like to deliver when it comes to my daughter or anything in life. So it's a book on a real life journey from us traveling from DC to Germany, and it's a fun little story. I'm not saying that because we're the authors or anything like that, but I think it's fun. There's like little activities in the end to help, because the purpose of the book is to let you know there's no age where you have to meet in order to go travel. Just like with guns. Well, maybe with guns you do have to be a certain age. You can't be two. You can't be two. But with traveling, you can start at any age, right? So the book is really to inspire moms just anywhere. Just like inspire the love of travel to and for your children. And even if you're not a mom just yet, you have, nieces, nephews, what have you, goddaughters, godsons. Inspire that love of travel and just let them go for it, because there's so much world to see.
Oh, it definitely is. That's definitely one of the things that I plan to do more with my kids, because it's, my gosh, the hustle and bustle of life is enough, and I need them to have an outlet, but I also need them to see different ways of living, different ways of eating. You know, it's a whole lot of different things that they can learn just by travel, and it's really important. It brightens their horizons of what it is they feel that they can do, so they don't feel so boxed in and limited to a certain idea.
Yeah, for sure. And the culture, I think it was a culture shock for my daughter when she seen just like the different foods that was there. Of course she gravitated to what she knew. She's like, oh, I want ice cream. I'm like, we're in Paris. Because when we got to Germany, there's this train that takes you to Paris. It's like in 2 hours or something. You can get on a train, they'll take you to Paris. Okay. I'm like, we're in Paris and you want ice cream? All right, whatever. But, so like kids will be kids, but the culture of it all, like you have new languages. And that's something I incorporate in the book too, because it's like, yes, our first language is English, right? And I am Miss Puerto Rico. I'm not fluent in Spanish, I'll be honest. But it's important to really just establish, like, just your knowledge, like expand on it. You don't have to just stop when you finish school or when you graduate high school. And we can teach our kids now about different things, cultures, languages.
I think
I'm ready.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Go ahead, full firing grip on the gun.
This
feels a little different. It's a little heavier.
Okay.
That's all beef right there.
Yeah. There's something.
It's a little narrower on this one too. You just get narrower and narrower as you go.
Yeah.
Make your side alignment, side picture, same aiming point, make contact with the trigger. And this doesn't have really much slack. So go ahead and steady press through the rear.
So hit the trigger.
Go ahead, press the trigger.
Oh, that one's really big. Okay. Oh my God, I'm really gonna have to lean in on this one. I felt that in my elbow.
Right.
All right.
Same thing. 1, 2, 3. Ready? Press. Good job. Okay. Finger straight. Low ready. Good.
Ooh. That one I can feel in my elbows. I'm about to fall off. That's your favorite one? Goodness.
I love the 45s, man. They're great. 45s. I love 45s. Is that the same? I carry a 9, but I love 45s.
Oh yeah, I'm good off that one.
I think those cultural differences is what kind of make us come together more. People like to get in these, I don't know what you want to call it, different groups. You know, like, okay, the Spanish speaking needs to stay here, the English speaking here, the, I don't know, Portuguese speaking here. Like, we just want to stay in our little groups. But when we start to learn each other's languages is when we find the differences, but also the similarities, because we're all people. And so it kind of helps bring us together. And again, as I said, that need to want to help others is naturally there in good people. So it's one of those things where it's just going to happen. Your daughter is going to be a well-rounded, you know, awesome thinker just because you already exposing her to travel, to meet different cultures and things. So what is up next for you?
Oh. Do I want to share this yet? Y'all know how y'all be like, don't speak too heavy on your goals. And then people be acting like, I thought you said that you was going to. But no, like, in all seriousness, I would love to become an attorney. Nice. Like, that is something that's been on my hearts of hearts. I've grew and wanted to do that passion recently after I want to say getting into, but experienced a situation within the Air Force. I don't want to, this is not what, this is no cut on Air Force. I love the Air Force. But just through a certain experience, I think that becoming an attorney can provide that know-how and that willingness to those who may need it.
Right.
So for me, I did grow that passion. I thought I was going to be a dermatologist, but that it's just not, you know, back to the purpose. Like, your calling is your calling. You can't kind of run, duck, or hide from it. So my thing is in me to help those. It's in me to, like, want to provide for those who doesn't have, or because I just know how it feels when it's like no help,
right? Or
you just really at your wit's end. So for me, I want to be able to give in that type of level, especially when it comes to like family law and like advocacy and things like that.
Okay. Well, definitely that sounds like another whole journey.
Oh,
and
I'm not ready.
I believe you're ready, because you already are saying, I want to do this, and this is why. So you already have your end goal. So all you have to do is fill in between that. You know, we're here. Your end goal is there. You got to fill in that gap. And
period.
That's all you have to do.
You know,
you've done it before. You can do it again.
Listen, and it's always so easy, like, to like hear someone say it, and then you can give that advice to someone just as easy, but we don't take it ourselves. Isn't that crazy?
That's very true. That's very true. But I think you have within you what is it you need to be able to make it happen. So I know that you will. I'm gonna check back with you.
Okay.
I'm gonna be that one texting, hey, did you do it yet? Are you enrolled yet? Don't be like, Shindy, you get on my nerves. Stop. I'm gonna keep bugging you because I'm gonna hold you to this. I know you want to do this, so I'm gonna help you.
Okay.
Well, that concludes our conversation today about your life journeys and where you're going. But just one more little thing here. If you had an advice for a young lady out there who's seeing you as a role model and want to model their life after you, what advice would you have to give that young lady?
you are the author of your life. So let others, people, accomplishments inspire you, but put your own spin on it, because no one can you like you, if that makes sense. There's been a lot of people who inspired me. Like, I was inspired. This is why I went to my daughter about the book. I was like, how would you feel about a book? Because I had a friend who wrote a hair book with her daughter. And I was like, that really is nice, you know? So let people's accomplishments be your inspiration.
Right.
And then start, because the journey is not going to be the exact same.
No.
Like, it really won't. Like, even when people go to become lawyers, each one of those persons that's applying to law school came from some type of different background.
Right.
You have those who come from a very secluded demographic. You have those who come from very much city. Others who may be coming from across the country, from like maybe India somewhere. So it's just like, your story is so unique and defined, and that's what's going to make you successful, because no one can you like you.
That's right. You guys heard it.
Yeah.
No one can you
like you. Like,
I
it's kind of crazy, but it makes sense. Just let it sit.
It's
sit with it for a little bit.
I love it.
Just sit with it for a little bit and let it sink in.
Yes, it makes perfect sense to me, though. It really does. Well, we're going to go ahead and go into our next little section here.
So we are going to do a game of shoot or shh.
Oh, man.
We're going to ask some questions. If you want to answer, you go ahead and answer. If not, then you can shh your way on out of it.
Okay.
And roll on to the next one. All right?
Alrighty.
All right, cool. The first one. Can you describe a moment of embarrassment during a pageant?
Oh yes. The first one that comes to my mind is, we had a swim portion, and I was up. Like, two more girls were before me, and I was ready, and I thought I was ready, but I forgot my cover on my bottom. I didn't have to wear it, but I really wanted to wear it, because I was like a little conscious about just like my bottom area. So I'm like, So as I'm running to go and get it, mind you, we're wearing heels. I flew. I flew. I'm rushing to go get this cover. Was it worth it? Probably not. I couldn't just walk without it. But I was just like, no, I need that tie. I need to put that on. Like, I don't know if it's like, you know, like, I need to just tie the area. So, yeah. But I busted my... I fell gracefully, though, you guys. I fell gracefully. Oh, okay. It was embarrassing, but I'm okay, because I live to talk about it. Yeah. Period.
All right. Question 2. During a pageant, have there been any of your competitors you wanted to fight?
No. And I say that so genuinely. And this is one of the reasons why I really, truly love pageantry. They don't talk about this, but pageantry is a sisterhood. I didn't have the opportunity to pledge anything. And at this point, I don't think I'll be pledging. Well, you know, just when it comes to pageantry, it truly is a sisterhood. And when I say that, I mean it. If you need something, you don't even have to know a girl's name. If someone like, hey, does anyone has a bobby pin? Don't worry, I got you. Like, it really is, I'm here for you. And the particular pageant that I'm a part of, which is United States pageant, the motto, what we stand in is inspire, empower, and uplift. And it is those girls, like all of us as title holders, to honor the empower, inspire, and uplift in who we are and in like what we stand for. And I've never wanted to fight. And I don't know, maybe I'm too new. I will hope that experience never comes to me. But I know within this system, the girls are very sweet. They're very driven. They're very motivated. A lot of them own nonprofits. A lot of them are either prior military, or they model, influencers. There's just so many backgrounds. So it's just like, they say you put a group of women in one area, all you hear is like, meow, meow, meow. Not in this one, not in this group, because like you're supposed to be poised and put together. So it's like, oh, then are y'all fake? No, not even. Like, we really do like each other. So no, that hasn't happened.
Like I watch too much.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I love that movie.
It is.
I love that movie.
That.
We need some drama for the movie.
Right. All right. Question number 3. Are you currently dating anyone, and if so, do you want to give him or her a shout out?
What you say? Say shh, right? When we done?
Yes.
Because listen, it's complicated. You know what? I'm not dating right now. Oh, look, no, matter of fact, come on. Let me just. Next question.
How many in your DM do you get every day, men or women, flirting with you?
Oh my goodness. To be honest, you get the same ones. It's the ones who don't want to, they're going to just keep trying their hand. And I'm not sitting there, calculating like, oh, this one. I really am a busy mom. Am I too busy for love? I don't believe so. Love will come when it's time and when that person knows and when I know. But I don't sit and count. I don't have an answer to that one.
Too many to count.
Oh,
too many to count.
We did not say that.
Enough though. Enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. All women want a little attention,
Mm-hmm.
so it's not bad always.
It's not.
Not bad always. Okay, so if you can change any part of your body, what would it be and why?
That's a great question. I never really suffered through like a body anything. I know y'all heard me kept looking at my outfit. I'm like, oh my God, my stomach, y'all, my stomach. But truly, in all honesty, I like the way I look. Are there things I can tone? For sure, definitely. But I'm not to the point where it's like, oh, I have to change this. Oh, I need to. Maybe when I was like super younger, I was like, oh, maybe I want to get boob, like a boob job. But I'm so afraid of surgery. Like, more power to the people that go do the BBLs. Like, girl, you a real soldier, because I can't. I'm too scared of the knife and then the recovery process. So I just, yeah. But I do a little tone. Y'all know you gotta keep the fatty fat, right? Keep the stomach tight. So, those are the certain things we gotta keep together. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
Has there been anyone in your DM that is actually a celebrity?
You know what? That's like a.
Okay.
Yeah, let's just.
Well, you guys got it here. It's Trina Q, maybe through shoot or. Good job.
Yeah, thank you.
Introducing Miss Trina.
First class, like.
I'm just gonna keep going.
She's like, It was that for me.
Right.
Reese is just not the
You
outfit
ain't got no
given.
stomach. What you talking about?
I do. The stomach is right here. What are you saying? It's like
Right.
over the jeans.
Us mama tummies over here.
Yeah. 3.
That's fun. Like you're in the outdoors.
What kind of grenade is we doing now? What are we doing? What are y'all doing? Is this for real? Be careful with that, man. Because in war movies, I seen this lady put out are you crazy? Go over there with that. Go over there with that. What is that?
It's all right. It's a
Is
dummy.
it safe?
It's a dummy.
Oh, I said, you lay hell though.
It's a dummy. Don't
I
worry.
thought it was for real.